Quick video, man. I ain't did one in a while. Hard talk. Um, Talking about the Malice and Pusha situation, the Clipse. I'm loving how they album is a masterpiece. I'm loving how they, representing VA great as they always do. Loving the reception. The whole world seem to be getting onto it. But I just want to bring something up, man. I always like Malice better than Pusha. You know what I'm saying? I love them both together. But Malice is the big brother, so a lot of times he probably got a few more years experience. You know what I mean? I don't know their full story. But Pusha's next. It's like neck and neck though. It never been like one is way better. You know what I mean? Like for instance, with Mobb Deep, Havoc was the producer. So, lyrically he Havoc got some bars too. But Prodigy was always the one. Clipse is a dope duo to me because they was almost like they almost equal, bro. I mean they brothers. I think they're pretty close in age, so Pusha killed some shit. I think Pusha got the best line of the album though. You know what I mean? The shit he said about Jim Jones, he ain't had to say his name. He was like, you running from the spirit of repossession. The spirit of repossession. So, spirits, they say spirits possess people. But Jim Jones got one of his homes, I think, repossessed last year. So you running from the spirit of repossession. So that's like a double. He's saying, I'll take your soul lyrically, nigga, and you running from repossession. Like you talk that money shit. And he was like, I buy bitches homes, you bounce sections. So, you just saying you talking that money shit, nigga. I can really talk money shit. So, but for those of us, some people, man, they deep into music analysts, and music fans, but I don't think they deep into lyricists, especially somebody like myself that used to write rhymes heavy, and I still write rhymes from time to time, but I always had the ear for lyrics. So just like that bar from Pusha, I didn't really catch it the first few times I listened to it as a direct shot at Jones because I probably wasn't thinking about it. I just thought it was a dope bar, and dope. But like the part of repossession, that fit into Jones, whole situation and how he was hating on them and Nas, shout out to Nas. Nas killed some shit on the album too. So, I think it's album of the year. And last year I think it was more than Top Dog TDE, they did their thing, bro. And even though, Kendrick is PG Lane, I feel like he had album of the year, man. As far as me listening to it. And it wasn't as intricate, maybe, and lyrical as most of his shit and introspective. But it was hard, bro. That was a hard album. And then, if you want to go deep with it, there's a lot of other good albums, man. Like, one of my favorites is, Schoolboy shit was dope. But last year it was a lot of shit, bro. So, like I said, man. But this year I think that's definitely gonna be album of the year, man, for me. But look, let me just say this, man. Get to the point. Of course, people gonna do the comparisons, but people forget so much, man. That's why I say I think people analyze music and remember, and then it's the type of climate we in. It's everything's short lived, so people act like they forgot that Malice was nice. And some people rediscovering him or discovering him because he took time away. Pusha was more of a solo artist, but they started out as the Clipse, as together. And Malice was my favorite back then. And, I know he stepped away, did the gospel thing. And I tell people, man, this is just my take on it. I think it's more of a thing like some people is more full power when they're in their element. And I'm not saying the gospel holy side because the brother still rep God. I always talk about Jesus. And that's respectable and commendable. You know what I mean? But I think some people, man, it's like when they take the gloves off, that's when they're at their best, man. Like, I always look at Bernie Mac, man. The Bernie Mac show was great. I understand why he did it for the kids, just like Eddie Murphy. But go look at that old Bernie Mac stand-up. That's him taking the gloves off. Go look at that Eddie Murphy Raw, the old stand-up. That's him taking the gloves off. I don't think they matched when they just say fuck it and go hard as they can. But, I understand them doing kids movies and, role model shit. And, I'm getting older myself, so I understand that type of shit. But I still think, somebody like Malice, he changed his name to No Malice. But Malice was... He said, I feel like you really being funny on the slide. Now face down, laying on your tummy, or you... It's just the way he. But Pusha always been cold too. Pusha got a lot of quotables through the years. So much respect to them brothers. And I just want to point out something, man. Y'all go listen. See, I'm a lyricist, so I remember bars. I remember hearing Pusha say this. Is a song him and T.I. had. Y'all can look it up. They were spitting back and forth. A lot of bars, maybe like 24 bars each. And Pusha made a great point, which always stuck with me and resonated with me. Cause me and my older brother used to rap, and that older homie used to rap. And he looked at it like this. He said, "They say my brother. I don't want to misquote the dude Pusha, but he was saying, you say my brother better. That's cool. Cause if he the king and I'm the prince, we both rule. So that could be a double too, saying Michael and Prince. You know what I mean? Or that's basically saying that's my big brother. He like my pops in a way. You know what I mean? So if you feel like he better and I'm great and this nigga's even greater, we both rule. And bro, that's why they probably would never, because they real blood brothers and real family that never seem like they got jealous of each other. And that shit break up a lot of groups. And shout out to the Locks, because I think they the most, besides a lot of the old school groups that never broke up, there's some old school groups that probably never broke up. But in our era, like 90s, you know what I'm saying? What we grew up with, and the Clipse right behind them 2000s, as far as when they became super popular, you never seen them really. It was more like Malice probably just took a different direction in life. But they brothers. So, and then some family fall out, so they probably kept them 100 with each other. But I just wanted to tell people, go look that up. Push already said that years ago, man. For those that know bars, some people might have picked that up. He said years ago that people were saying his brother's better. So now I think people are saying, damn, that was kind of harder than Pusha. But to me, he always been like, and Pusha probably wouldn't be mad about that because that's his big brother. That's who he look. That's what made Pusha so hard. You know what I mean? He got a brother like Malice. So I'm glad both of them getting their props and not slighting Pusha, because Pusha been holding it down. When Malice, took his he went, like a lot of rappers do that at time. Mace, and Mace a dope rapper, you know what I mean? Like, you see when he came back and smoked Cameron, you know what I mean? Like bars, dog. Bars, and he did Diddy filthy. Mace, hey, what he say, he said y'all let's say y'all sold for a brunch. You be careful what's in that punch. Talking about the drink that's at the Diddy party. And the Rock Nation brunch or the Bad Boy brunch or whatever, he was representing something like that. He said y'all sell y'all soul to be at a brunch. Be careful what's in that punch. Like y'all niggas gonna end up on the dig list. And it's like prophecy, because look what happened. And like I said, so I feel like, even though it's kind of messed up, people will look at it. Hey, what you doing over there? What you? Yeah, these animals over here, it's hard. What you doing? You bet. But like I said, man, it's just something. People that listen to actual rhymes and bars and love shit like that, you pick up stuff like that. I just think the world we in too is everything is so current event, man. Niggas that like Malice came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? The man been a beast, and like you say, I just think people that when they go full strength, they're nice when they try to be more positive, yo. Now some people I feel like is probably good in the positive lane. They don't, like Will Smith. That's a direct opposite. I feel like when he's on his positive shit, that's him. Now he cussing and all that stuff. It's like, man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it fit him. You know what I mean? But that's him. You know what I mean? The man feel free now. He said that. He never used to cuss. He never. So now he feel free. So hey, that's him. But I just feel like, that summertime stuff, that vibe, maybe people want to hear that more from him. And on the other side, when it's people like Malice and Murder Mace, Pastor Bethel, they probably respect him, but they probably, when he hear him rap, you want to hear Murder Mace, you want to hear Malice instead of no Malice. But yeah, shout out to the Clipse, shout out to Mace too, shout out to all them brothers, shout out to everybody doing what they doing, Will Smith, all them niggas, man, you know what I mean? And however people do, that's what they do. But I was just making a point, man, if you really listen to bars and listen to lyrics and what people really saying, a lot of this shit you can see for yourself before, the bandwagon in the world jump on it and everybody, oh, man, it's so hard, man. So that's just my point. Hard talk. Shout out to y'all. Holla at y'all. Peace.